Hey there guys, it's Leslie Diane. I hope you are having a great day. I'm going to do a little bit of a mini tutorial here for you. I've got a PDF, by the way, that if you'll check out the cards as they come across your screen on YouTube, I've got a PDF that will explain more about what's going on here, or maybe just be a little reminder for you of what this video contains. If you're interested in that, you'll find a link to it in, as you look through this video. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. I'm making a couple assumptions first. Okay, now if you don't know how to use a tuner, there's lots and lots of tutorials already up on YouTube. I'm not going to go from the beginning and do that, but you can certainly find ways to tune without any trouble. Other people have done that. So if you have a phone app, you can use that. If you have a clip-on tuner, you can use that. What we're going to do is take you down from standard tuning, which is E, A, D, G, B, E. Some teachers say Eddie 8, dynamite, goodbye Eddie. I don't do that. I don't like the visual, so I don't use that. But anyway, we're taking you down from standard tuning to an open tuning. Listen to this. I've already done this. I'm not going to take up your time in this video doing that. And like I said, you can learn how to tune your guitar. You can learn how to use a tuner, with other videos on YouTube. But I probably will go back and do a video of my own on how to tune to open D, because it's different. I will just tell you that it involves taking the E, A, D, G, B, E standard tuning lower on every string. So this is not something where you're going to be going higher in pitch and risking breaking your strings, okay? I'm not saying you won't break a string, but it will be strange if you do. So anyhow, what we've got here, these are the string names after retuning to open D, which I have already done. You're not going to have to watch me do that. I'll do that in a separate dedicated video on its own later. But I'm assuming that you can get your guitar into open D tuning. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. Notice where my hand is, it's here. It's not up here doing all of this stuff, toiling around, getting buzzing sounds and all of that. There. This is actually a D major chord, okay? And the string notes now have changed. Two of them stay the same as in standard. You have the A and the D. Those don't change from standard. So you really have only 4 of your strings that need to be lowered in pitch. Remember, lower, not higher. You're not raising pitch. So you shouldn't be worrying about breaking strings here. So anyway, we've taken the low E string down a whole step, so it is now D. If you have a good ear or a decent ear, you can hear they're like an octave apart. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, okay? But now here's what here's what you've got for these lowest 3 strings. You've got D, A, D, and remember the A and the D are just carried over from standard tuning. Okay, you didn't even have to do anything with them. We get to what used to be the G. Well, I'm still going to refer to it as the G string, but we have tuned it down so that it's a half step lower. It's F sharp now. Then we took our B string and we tuned it down a whole step. We tuned it down to A. And we took our high E and we tuned it down to D. So there you go. If you need to figure out how to do that, just type into the search bar, tune guitar to open D. I'll do my own video, but you probably don't want to wait for me to do that. So go find that information. If you need to know even more basic than that, if you need to know how to use a tuner, you'll find plenty of help online to learn how to do that. So anyway, now I'm in open D, and this is a thing where you can play flat fingered. And in this case, we're going to be using only this finger, the index finger, right? Okay. So here are your steps. Tune to open D, bum, 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 done. We're done with that. Okay, now you're going to be using just this index finger, and you're going to be moving around. Easier if you help it out with the second finger. Okay, so that lets you into the world of quite a few hit songs, right? This is what we call the 1-4-5 progressions. No time here in this video to deal with that, but that's another thing you might want to search up if you're interested in it. This is a very familiar sounding progression. Lots and lots, tons of 3-chord hit songs have been written off of these 1-4-5 progressions. So if that interests you, tuck it away in the back of your mind. If it doesn't, forget it for now. You don't need it. But that's the sound that you can get pretty quickly, even if you have long nails. Now, how long is long? I'm not talking about nails out to here, okay? That's going to cause you some problems if you want to hold on to a pick. Now, if you do want long nails like that, you can learn how to use your index finger to strum. To me, these workarounds seem, I mean, it's just much easier for me to think of trimming my nails, but I'm not you. You may feel differently. So anyway, let's work together to find something that you can at least have the enjoyment of making music. That is my main thing. I don't want to exclude people from the enjoyment of music just because they won't do what we guitar teachers are always saying, cut your nails, cut your nails. Believe me, I tried. No go. And I don't like to lose students over a thing like that. If there's a way that they can work around it, and there is. Okay, so anyway, now if you are in open D tuning and you just tried what I just now did here, and you're not already coming from a background in guitar where you're playing bar chords and stuff, then you're probably not feeling friendly toward me right now, because probably you thought, ouch, you have like these little string indents all along your finger, right? Did I ever tell you that it wasn't hard or challenging? No, I did not. But I did say you could keep your nails. All right, so let me show you something here. You do not have to do the hardest things first, okay? A lot of times, I mean, in my own teaching, and before that, in my own learning of guitar, it's like we start people back here where the frets are far apart, they're miles apart. It's a wonder anybody stays with it. So, let me show you what technically is easier about this right now. This has nothing to do with your nails. This is really just pointing out a couple of things. You can get your first major chord there without pressing anything down, right? Now, this is probably going to be harder than you want to cope with right now. That's fine. Can you do this instead? Can you take this part of your finger up to the first joint and just go here and flatten that across? Notice I'm not going parallel to the fret. If you don't know what frets are, they're these little bars that go across. Can you do this? I'm not doing this. I'm angling it a little. Can you get 2 notes clear? I'm going to press really hard, harder than I need to, much harder than I need to, but the reason I'm doing that is so that you can now see where the dents are. That's where I was playing. As you can imagine, that's not the most comfortable feeling, but it's not horrible either. And if you do this 15 minutes a day for 2 or 3 weeks, you don't even have to do it 15 minutes in one sitting, but keep coming back, okay? You need to toughen up a little bit so that you're not just immediately putting your fingers down there and going, ouch, you know, and then stopping. You won't learn to play that way. So let's take it in the smallest little increments that we can. In fact, I'm going to strip the right hand down to nothing, to just the thumb. Actually, if you have long fingernails, I don't know, experiment with that and see what works better for you. Or if your nails, like I said, if your nails are super long, you're going to still probably have problems. But if you can use your thumb without much trouble, or use your index finger, and get those 2 notes clear. Did you hear that I'm not doing them together? I'm doing them one at a time. And the reason for that, I call that troubleshooting mode, where you're kind of, you know, you're kind of out looking for problems so that you can fix them. Okay? Are you able to do that? If you're not, let's take a look at maybe why. Are you back here? Problem with that is you have to press harder. It's totally possible to get clear sound back here, but you have to fight for it. We don't want to be fighting. We don't want to be fighting with our instrument. We want to be enjoying it. Get your finger close behind the fret, not on top of it, or you'll wind up with a different problem. It won't be buzzing, it'll be dead or muted. That's because I'm on top of the fret. I want to be just behind it. Sometimes you won't be able to get just behind it, you know, but a lot of times you can. And when you can, it makes sense to do that. It's a good habit. So if you're able to get those, yay for you. That's great. Now, let's add something to this, okay? We're going to add a very simple little thing with this hand. We're going to just subtract all of our fingers except the thumb and the index finger. This is your first finger. If I asked you to count to 4, you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, so that's how your fingers are numbered. This is your index, this is your thumb, and that's all we're using here. And what we're going to do is the thumb will take care of, and I'm going to refer to the string names as if we were in standard tuning, so you don't have to be thinking which D is she, you know. So B string, high E string. The thumb is going to go down here on the B string, and then we're going to come up with our index finger on the high E. Notice what I'm doing here. This is just for added stability. This is called bracing, and it's instinctive. Rather than just having your fingers out here and having that feeling of, this gives you a home base. It gives you kind of a physical home base that you can hang on to. So, and you don't have to do it in one particular spot. Just you'll feel your way through that. It's just a way to steady yourself. Don't keep your hand down here like that. You want it kind of this way. And again, there's wiggle room. It doesn't have to look just like what I'm doing, but notice too where my thumb is. I'm not making the thumb run up toward the headstock here. It's across like that. Okay, that's what you want. And then we're going thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb, index. Now let me do this. I'm going to go just to our first chord, which is going to, we're working our way towards a full D chord. A full D chord, needs 3 notes, right? Right now we're doing like a partial D chord. Well, not actually, not here at the 7th fret, but here's our partial D chord that we're doing. This is with open strings, which means you don't have to press anything down. We're going I'm slowing it down because you should. Until you can do this on autopilot. And don't have to think about it. Go slow. You can build speed on top of accuracy, but it won't work in reverse. So don't try to make it work in reverse. You're after accuracy. You're not after speed. Later, and it might not even be that much later, this will become very natural. You want it to be second nature to you, so you don't have to think about it, right? Now, you can also do a little thing called a pinch, where your thumb and your index finger are pulling these at the same time. So you might do something like, doesn't sound fantastic or anything, but it gets you started. And then if you can add this small little shape, okay? I'm gonna move my hand up here so you can see both hands. Well, no, I guess you can still see that, okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go from the open strings to the 5th fret to the 7th fret with that very same shape. Then I'm going back to the open strings, the D chord. Now, without all those words, let's just see where we are. That last thing, what was that? That was a pinch, right? Pinch. Okay, so let me tell you the names of these chords. The first one's a freebie, so you should be glad that you've got a freebie there. Right now, these are not quite as easy, but they're not bad. Just listen out and make sure that both of those notes are clear. Okay? Get them nice and clear. And if you can get them clear, then you can add the G string to these others, and we can start having a little more fun. But let me tell you the names of these. When you go here at the 5th fret, this is a G chord. And when you go here to the 7th fret, that's an A chord. Technically, you need one more note to make that, but think of them as, because we're going to add on, think of them as like D, G, A. Okay, now let's just mess around a bit. So, you know, you're not going to win awards with that, but you might have a lot of fun messing around with that. Okay, so if you can do that, we can look at adding the 3rd string. Your strings are numbered from here, closest to the floor is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And again, even though we've retuned, I'm going to refer to the string names as people who already play are used to hearing it. So, okay. So the 3 strings that we're working off of next will be the 2 that we've already done, the high E and the B. We're going to go ahead and add the G string to this. This is a little bit harder, okay? You'll want to practice these things. Spend 15 minutes a day. You can split it up what way you like, okay? But you need to do that. What you're after is muscle memory. And muscle memory comes through correct repetition, right? So you have to sit there. You don't have to sit there and do anything dramatic like play till your fingers bleed unless you want to. But then, of course, you're going to have to give your fingers time to heal, you know. in between practice sessions, so probably just don't do the dramatic thing, do the practical thing. Okay, so anyway, I want to point one other thing out to you before we add another string. Okay, you see these dots? You see these nice little dots that look so nice and decorative and everything, and you have one dot until you get to this one special place on the guitar and you have two dots. Okay. I'd been playing a while before it dawned on me. No one told me that these are not just decorative or ornamental, that they actually are there for a reason. They're called position markers, and they help you find your way around the guitar quicker. Now, take a look at this. A lot of the times, when people are learning in standard tuning, we guitar teachers are starting folks out way down here where these frets are way far apart, and you can pretty much count 1, 2, 3 pretty easily here, right? 1, 2, 3, there you go. Well, when we shift into this open D tuning, we're moving around. We're not just hanging out down here, we're moving around a bit to get the chords we need. So it becomes important earlier in the game that you be able to find your way around the guitar without having to count everything from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The song is over by the time you find the right fret. So these position markers will help you, okay? Take a look. You probably have them at 3, 5, 7, 9. And I'm going to stop here at 12, although you do have some beyond there. We're not messing with those today, so you don't need to worry about them. Now, some guitars will not have a position marker here on the 3rd fret. It doesn't matter. You can see that pretty quickly anyway, right? So at least you probably have them at 5, 7, and 9. When you get to 12, that's a very different thing. That's easy to spot because it's the only place that's an even number, and it's the only place that has double dots, right? So you see this, you should think 12. And then, make your work on the guitar easier. Make it so you can get to these far off places instead of being down here on the first 3 frets in open position. You're going to be moving around, so it's important that you be able to do that quicker. We're going to be moving to the 5th fret and the 7th fret, okay? Now, there's another thing I want to point out to you too. What's here along the front of your guitar is also on the side of your guitar in miniature. On most guitars that I've seen, it appears in 2 places. Small here, larger here. I have students all the time who feel lost and they want to see things better, and they'll, instead of having the guitar up against them like this, they'll cheat it out. You can cheat out a little bit for a little while if you want to, but not much, or it's going to make your technique very bad. They'll cheat it out like this so that they can see everything. You don't need to do that. You've got all that same information here along the side, okay? So get used to 3, 5, 7, 9, 3, 5, 7, 9. I'm not even throwing in 12 because that's double dots. You're not going to be up there right now very much anyway. So if you don't have a 3, then you have one less position marker to, think about, but you can probably glance down and easily see that that's the 3rd fret, whether or not you have a marker. So 5, 7, 5, 7 for the purposes of what we're doing here, right? Okay. So now you know something I didn't know for a while. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's do this next thing. Let's add in the G string, okay? So here's the strings. I'm going to get up here so you can see that we're going to be using these. High E string, B, G. And that'll give us one more string to work with that'll let us have kind of another option. Just listen to it first before I rattle away about what to do with it. Okay, just listen a little bit. Now, the reason why you can have your nails somewhat longer instead of short like mine is because we are playing flat fingered here. You don't have to be on the tips of your fingers. If you're playing in a tuning that makes you have to be on the tips of your fingers, you've got to cut your fingernails, right? Okay, otherwise you can't do it. But this will let you do it. And it might whet your appetite enough so that you want to do more and more and more of it, and then you just, the nail thing might become a non-issue. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. In any case, you'll be able to enjoy making some music, and to me, that's where it's at, okay? So, we are going to add this G string, the third string from the floor up, okay? Now you've got a nice sounding D chord without doing anything except strumming down, okay? And then we'll build on what we already did here, only now we're going to take it over. Tweak this. Don't be afraid to tweak these things. You've got an indentation here, of course, at the joint, so you got to try to work around that. And everybody's fingers are made up a little differently. Again, I'm not going straight across here. I'm angling this. This is just in case it will help you later. You could do this if you want to. You can do this. I would rather you do this because, well, for reasons of my own, but you can get the same sounds here. Now, we're doing an interesting thing here. If you can get that extra string in there. Now, you might need to practice this. And it's helpful to split up the hands too, because your hands are doing completely different things. This one, struggling to try to get these notes clear. And this one, kind of just dancing along on the strings, making the music, right? Out of the hard work that this hand is putting in. So, it's a good idea if you don't feel like you've got to always be working on the hands together. Like, for example, if you're focusing here, trying to get this new pattern, let me show you this new pattern. You know, we were doing this, thumb and index. Now, watch this. This is sort of a little mini introduction to Travis picking where you have an alternating thumb. Watch what happens here. I don't want to, we could do this adding in other fingers, but I want to keep it simple so that you can have an easy early win. I believe that that's important, you know, so that you can enjoy it, so you can enjoy playing right away. So what we're going to do, we're going back down here and we're going to start in a different place. And our thumb is going to be doing double duty. It's going to be playing the G string, that new string that we added, and then your first finger is just going to be hanging out here on the high E the whole time, but the thumb is going to be going back and forth between the G string and the B string, like that, okay? Now, after each thumb, you get the index. Like that. Let me do it faster. Don't you try to do it faster until you're accurate. But this is just to give you an idea of where you're headed, kind of. And I just moved from the 5 to the 7. And then there you go. There you have your open D. Now, let me think for a minute, too. I'm trying to give you basically the content that's in the PDF that you can download for free. It's a free download if you're interested to have a reminder of the content here. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I'm leaving out. There's a little section in the PDF of encouragement for you and practical tips. Practical tips. So I'm not going to belabor that. You can go get the PDF if you want to have the whole thing. But I'm trying to think if there's any other technical stuff. I don't think there was anything else technical in that I'm leaving out here. The main thing is don't feel like you have to do everything hard early. You don't. When I first started this video, I was showing you this. Even I use a helper finger here. Right? That's a lot of strings to just hold down like that, right? Depending on your goals for music, your goals do not have to be lofty. If enjoyment is the main thing you want from it, then that's fine. And you might find that you're happy with what you can do with 3 strings, 4 strings. If you want to get all of the benefits and the versatility and options, you can keep on growing your skills. And that's what I'm always in favor of. But you're not, you shouldn't feel bad or guilty if that's not your goal. Just enjoy your music. Enjoy making music. It's so much fun. And I guess I'll wrap this up. I think I included most of the stuff that was in the PDF. But please like, subscribe, and if you want to know updates, I want to expand this. I haven't done it yet, but I want to expand this into a course, into a proper course on how you can keep your nails within reason. I'm not talking about long dagger nails, okay? But how you can basically keep your nails and still play and enjoy the guitar. It's better, for your skills over time if you'll cut your nails. But if you're not ambitious with it, if you just want to enjoy it, then that might be everything you need. So if you want notifications as I work on this, maybe you'd even like to provide input as I develop the course, please, you can hit the notifications thing, and that'll let you know what I'm up to. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll go get your guitar, get it into open D, and practice. Start small. Start with the easy things. Don't start with the things that are going to just make you feel like, I don't want to do this. Have fun. And I'll see you the next time. Thank you.